Ah, go for
All right. Welcome back, welcome in. You found us once again. Shoot the gap. The Rabbit Hole Fantasy Football Focus Show here to help you to be gruntled with your fantasy football team and your fantasy football decisions. I am your humble host, Brian the Amigo Baldwin, and of course, it's my honor, my pleasure to introduce to you Connor, the Gut Marshall. How you doing, Connor?
it. I'm doing awesome. Dude, football is back. Let's go.
Is it?
It is. And we have a whole game to talk about.
Yeah. Well, we definitely do. We have something to talk about.
We have something to talk about.
I'm not sure if
This
I
ain't
put
no-
that adjective in there.
This ain't that preseason shit. This is the real deal.
Oh yeah. Well, it's interesting because to be honest with you, I think only one team knew that it was a real game. The other one was like, well, hang on.
To be fair, that team had one player and one player alone that knew that it was a game.
Well, the rest of them were like, but we hung our banner. We're supposed to win. Look at our banner. We're supposed to win. What's wrong with you? We're at home. You know, we're in LA.
You know it's bad whenever you're driving home and you say to yourself, you know what? I really think the Rams need Odell back.
Well, he was in the building. I mean,
Yeah.
as a fan, whatever. Okay, it's that's one thing we're going to talk about. Let's just get this intro in real quick. It's the 119th show, September 9th, in this hopeful year of our Lord, and we have a great show for you today.
Yes.
We're going to be going over some high and low points of the first game of the season on Thursday, hitting the latest news, and we'll be helping you set your starting lineup for Week 1 games in a segment we call Shoot or Cease Fire. And we will also be doing the the season's first ever Merry Early Christmas. All right, so before we get on to that, let's go and talk about Thursday night's game. So, Connor, thoughts on the game, man? What's your thoughts, dude?
As a Gabriel Davis owner,
Yeah,
in
like
Tulane,
Mike Davis.
As a Gabriel Davis guy, I have him in both of my leagues, and I have the Allen Davis stack in the Freedom League. And I felt awesome watching the Bills play. I mean, Josh Allen looked great. He threw 2 picks. They were not his fault both times. It was a fucking McKenzie and Crowder. They both fucked up and, like muffled or like messed it up. Davis and Diggs, man, they looked awesome. And the big surprise was Singletary. He looks like he was very clearly the lead back. We were talking about that a lot on Thursday.
Until the second half, and all of a sudden it was like, hey, Zach Moss, and boop, Zach Moss doing his unexplosive Zach Moss stuff. The rookie got in. James Cook did, but he did his best impression of Antonio Gibson. Yes, he went, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, little butterfingers, and that's unfortunate because you live your whole life as a football player, playing, like from little league to high school to college, your first game, you're gonna take, set the league on fire, your first game, and to fumble and then to get sat and only to come in the only other play you come in is as a decoy. Yeah, that's
but it's still first world problems because he's on one of the Super Bowl favorites, so he should be all right.
Oh no, he'll get it. It's just that it just stinks.
No, you're
that's
right.
how
It stinks.
Yeah, how it started off. Dude, there was there was a lot of craziness. And there's one thing I wanted to talk about really quick. Is the Dawson Knox. I know everybody was disappointed in Dawson Knox, but dude, he played about the only player, I think there's only 2 other players that had more higher snap count than him, and that was Josh Allen, of course, and Stephon Diggs. I believe that's correct. Yeah. And so he had a high snap count. And so he ran something like 27 routes. And so, dude, he just had to block. He's going to be okay. I know he kind of stunk this time, but that's what tight ends do. Whenever you get the tight ends that are in the mid to lower range of the draft, they're going to be great sometimes, and sometimes they're not. And this time he wasn't, but don't panic. I mean, he's fine. He's going to be okay there. So I wouldn't worry too much. Akers is somebody I would worry about if I managed Akers. Yeah,
I would worry too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and McVay even came out and said that he wanted today. He said he wanted to see more urgency and accountability from Akers. So that is, in itself just kind of like tells you that if you went for that low pick of Darrell Henderson towards the end of the draft, you might have got yourself the starting running back for the Rams. He looked good. What'd you think, Connor?
Looks a lot better than Akers, I'll tell you that much.
Well, I mean, jeez, I mean, so did I. So would I. I
You
mean,
did
dude,
look better than Akers last night.
I
That's
mean,
true.
yeah, I mean, dude, that Achilles undefeated.
Undefeated.
I haven't really seen like a player, um, like a running back, get that injury and be able to return to the way they were before. It just, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's. I
Deontay
mean,
Foreman.
well, yeah. What I'm seeing is it looks like Sean McVay was lying about Akers being healthy, but he was
Yep.
telling the truth about Henderson being healthy.
You know what I heard? I heard that in camp that Akers was dealing with a hamstring, and that the Akers truthers, okay, are basically saying that they were wanting to rest Akers, and the actual plan was that the rookie running back Kyron Williams, the one that got injured, I think on the opening kickoff, he actually, dude, he messed up. He has a high ankle sprain. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. He's done. But I believe, or at least it seems, that the plan was for Williams. It was going to be Williams and Henderson to let Akers kind of rest, and they only put Akers in a couple of times so that Henderson could rest. So there's a feeling that maybe we didn't get rickrolled, so to speak. We basically, what happened is that a freak injury happened, or an unexpected injury. Well, all injuries are unexpected, but an injury happened in training camp to his hamstring. In that, as we move along the league, then we'll start seeing like the snaps start to get better, and that's the reason why Akers wasn't effective. But whatever, dude. Point is,
Yeah.
right now, I don't know, dude. That's just a theory, and we're in the season now. We're out of theory season. Theory season was before the draft, okay, or before game one, okay. Now we see it.
Yeah. No, you're
Not theory
right.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ram, and one more note on that: Ram starting center Brian Allen. He's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks due to a knee injury that he picked up.
Yikes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's scary stuff. That's scary stuff. And but yeah, Cooper Cup was Cooper Cup. Allen Robinson was non-existent, but he had a high snap count.
Cooper Cup
Um,
wasn't non-existent.
no, Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson.
Yeah,
He caught
but
one catch for a first down.
2 targets, right? And one was a throwaway at the end of the game. Basically, what I'm thinking about with Robinson is relax. It's a long season. Don't start him. I think next week though, I think is going to be the true measurement of Allen Robinson, because they play against Atlanta. So if he's going to ever get like involved heavily, it will
It's
be in
next
that
week.
game. Yeah, and the problem with being an Allen Robinson manager right now is that you have to make a quick decision, because if you think it's just a fluke, then you're going to hold on to him, but you could still kind of sell him right now and get something back. But if next week happens against Atlanta and he has a bad week again, dude, good luck trying to sell him. It's going to be like
Yeah.
2021 all over again.
If I'm an Allen Robinson owner and I'm panicking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to look for the Allen Robinson truther in the league who's pissing their pants of excitement because he wants to buy low. And I'm going to try to give him the kiss of death, maybe unload Allen Robinson on their team. It feels like you're selling low, but you're actually kind of selling high in a way because you're
Yep.
getting rid of him.
All right, let's move on to some Merry Early Christmas. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So, all right. So everybody knew the show. Okay. This is a segment that we've been doing for ever since we started the show. But basically, what I've always found that it's best to give bad news in a good way. Okay. So this segment is where I say Merry Early Christmas to a player's manager, and Connor will try to guess why. Okay. You ready, Connor?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. All right. Here we go. First one of the season. Merry Early Christmas, Julio Jones, man.
Chris Godwin is expected to not play week 1.
Yep. It was reported that on Wednesday, Chris Godwin practiced in full on Wednesday, but then he was DMP on Thursday.
I
Yeah.
actually know this because I am a Julio Jones owner in my auction league, and I am
Ah,
questioning whether I should start him in the flex or David Njoku, and I'm leaning Julio Jones because of this news.
yeah, I would too. And you'll see whenever we get close. Well, we'll talk about that. But yeah, Godwin said he's grateful for the progress he's made, but he's already said that he's not going to go until he's confident with his surgically repaired knee. So the fact that he took practices off after that full practice tells me there's something going on. He's being listed as a game time decision. So if he can't go, then of course it's Julio Jones time. I'm like Connor. I don't expect him to be available this weekend, but even if he is, I wouldn't start him. Mary, ready for another one,
Yes.
Connor?
Yes.
Merry early Christmas, CD Lamb manager. This is a curveball.
Michael Gallup is not expected to play week 1.
Thursday, Dak Prescott was a limited participant in practice due to an ankle issue. The Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy said that he has no concerns about Dak playing and that he should be a full participant in today and tomorrow's practice. Check this out. This is why I'm saying Merry Early Christmas, CD Lamb. On the team's official website, Connor, there isn't a second quarterback listed on the roster right now. It's just Dak, and that's it. And then you have to scroll all the way down to get to the practice squad, and that's where the gold of quote unquote the facetious gold of Will Greer or Cooper Rush is sitting. So that's why I'm saying, dude, he's getting a gift because guess what? Dak's gonna play. Because if he didn't, it's a problem, man. That whole Cowboys thing is one ankle away. One ankle away.
So you're saying CeeDee Lamb's going to do good because Dak's going to play?
No, better. He's gonna do better than if Cooper Rush is throwing on the ball or Will Greer, you know. So
You're right. Okay.
that's the whole thing. I'm not trying to say he's gonna be great. I'm just trying to
Okay.
say that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Merry Christmas. Dude, you know what? I'll tell you right now, dude. I would be completely surprised, 100% surprised. Like you'll see me like fall out of my chair, okay, onto the floor, if you get this one right. If you get this one right, okay, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm sitting up for
We'll
this.
see. All right. Merry early Christmas, Damian Pierce, manager. And I'll give you a clue. It has nothing to do with the Houston Texans.
So it's good news for Damian Pierce, but it's not because of anything related to a Texans player.
Yes, the Texas team. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if you get it. Let me see if you get it.
Oh, I know why.
Okay.
One of the Colts guys got injured.
Who? Who? No. I'm not gonna say one of them. That's not gonna put me on the floor. That's not gonna put me on the floor.
Say it's either OLB or ILB.
Not positions. Player name, dude. Okay.
Know the
You know
fucking
what?
player name. You don't know I don't care about player names like you do. I'm not a. But I know it's either like an outside linebacker or an inside linebacker. Am I right? Is it an outside linebacker or inside linebacker?
Dude, that is like so ambiguous. No, boo. That's not gonna get me out of my chair. But yes, you're right.
Do you know yeah, because I remembered seeing that update on Sleeper. I remember thinking, wow, the Colts are playing on Sunday.
Let me show you why. Let me tell you why I am not accepting that as a reason for me to fall out of my chair. All right? Let me just go through it. After logging a full practice on Wednesday and limited practice on Thursday and today, the Colts have ruled out stud linebacker Shaquille Leonard on Sunday's contest versus the Texans. Now, last year, Leonard had 75 solo tackles, 47 assisted tackles, 12 stuffs at the line, 8 forced fumbles. That's why I'm not accepting it, because that's a guy that you're going to miss. That's going to be great for Damian Pierce. That's not just, and linebacker's hurt. Dude, this is one of their star linebackers. Okay. So, yeah, that's why I'm out there.
What's his name again?
His name is Shaquille Leonard, or Shaq Leonard, however you want to put it.
I'm going to call him Shaq Leonard. That's going to help me remember it.
Okay. So you get a C. I mean, you passed. But yeah, you're not.
Feels more like a B-.
No, I'm saying your answer, dude. You got to see, because it was so ambiguous. It was like a lawyer answer. Anyway, all right. two more, really quick. Merry early Christmas, Deebo Samuel's manager.
Kittle.
Yes, excellent. That's an A right there. See, that's an A. You see the comparison. All right.
Man, when the
Yeah.
gut knows, it knows.
Yeah. So last I read was today. I mean, we already know that he picked up the groin injury and everything like that. But today there was a report that
DNP.
Kittle. Kittle said, I feel much improved, and I'm going to try everything I can to get out there. Dude, this is the first week of the season. Oh my God. Do you sell Kittle right now if you can? Do you sell him? Like if you drafted
No,
him, what do you do?
wait until he has a good game.
Okay. Yeah, and it's Debo Samuels, by the way. Let me just clarify this, that it's Debo Samuels, I think, target's going to go up. Because I know that the knee-jerk reaction would be like, oh, well, let's go and get the backup tight end. It'll be great. But really, Tyler Kroft or Ross Dwelly, I can't give, just to be honest with you, Connor, I can't give them the gift because there's literally no managers of Tyler Kroft or Ross Dwelly. Okay, it's a big fat 0%. Okay, so
Yeah.
can't give it to him. Can't give it to him. Okay.
You could also make an argument for Ayuk getting.
I guess you could.
Yeah.
But it seems like I had to choose between the two, and I figured that Debo would get the push.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Lance isn't very active. I don't think he's that good. But I don't know. I just feel like I should add that in.
Damn, you almost said accurate.
I almost said accurate. I don't think he's that.
No. You almost say accurate. You almost said accurate. You almost said it. You almost said it correctly. All right.
You saw me correct myself. I'm like, no, never.
Yeah, no. I'm just not going to say the word. Yeah.
Just not gonna say
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Merry early Christmas, Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, because I think Rashad Bateman is actually listed as questionable or something. I remember reading a report saying
What
no.
what does the Ravens have to do?
Oh no, Lazard. I forgot. I thought Sammy Watkins was still in the Ravens. I forgot. He's been on every team. Well, he's a lizard person. He's like a chameleon. He just changes colors and it's a different jersey.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
and that's why he fits in with Lazard. They thought we need to assimilate all of the lizard people onto a green team. We'll hide them in plain sight with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Discount double check for lizard people. No, yeah, because Lazard's doubtful at this point, so he's leaning towards not playing. And I guess the consensus is Sammy Watkins is the largest player on the roster, so we should have the largest target share.
I'll break it down for you. All right, so first of all, Lazard got stepped on by a teammate.
Nice.
That's why. That's why he's out. Okay, so
awesome.
that's just awful, right? No, it's because I said Sammy Watkins. Why? Because I'm a fan of tradition. And the tradition seems like it's going to keep going. All right, where Sammy Watkins, he gets an awesome, fantastic first game of the season,
that's the rule.
and then falls off afterwards. Dude, listen to this. All right, last year in the first game of the year, he had 8 targets, which led to 4 receptions and 96 yards. Okay, not bad. And then, okay, this is the yardage in the next games: 44 yards, 68 yards, 49. 35 and 7, and it kept going. So bam, out the door. In 2020, first game of the season, he had 9 targets, which led to 7 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown. Then he went 11 yards, 62 yards, 43, 24, 38, 35.
And the year before that was the year where he got 3 touchdowns.
Yes, exactly. So yeah,
I remember that game. No one fucking started him that game.
So Shill did
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
shout out to Shield.
Yeah, in the SJD league, he sure did. I will never forget that
because he was like, yeah, that was this season. That was 2019.
And it was like it was last minute. He put him in, and then, it was crazy.
And I had Tyreek Hill, and he got injured that game. I was just thinking about that. Who did I draft? Who was my running back? Was that Saquon? Who did I have? Remember, I got Tyreek with my second pick. Let's talk about that later. Yeah.
Last one. Merry early Christmas, Marquise Brown.
Hollywood Brown.
Well, no. On my radio show, my co-host gets mad at me if I say Marquise Brown. So I'm making it a point because he listens to Shoot the Gap. What's up, Charlie? Yeah.
What's up, Charlie?
Yeah, that I say Marquise Brown.
Well, call him. I was actually thinking about this. I understand, we are both. This show is our baby, but I want to make an executive decision and say that we refer to him as Hollywood Brown
Okay.
because that's a really cool nickname, and it sucks to have like a cool nickname and not have people.
Okay, but then why am I giving him the gift? Last one, real quick.
Because Zach Ertz is listed as questionable,
And?
and Marquise Brown went to the
And
same college as Kyler Murray.
sure, but that's not the other answer. That's not the other part of it.
Rondale Moore.
Yes.
You thought I didn't know? I was fucking with you.
Good. Yeah, So you
It
know,
definitely
it's
didn't
good.
come to me at the last second, and I was just pulling stuff out. Thin air.
The targets are going to go to Hollywood Brown, AJ Brown, and Andy Isabella. But come on, man, who do you think
There's
he's
an
going to look for?
important name you're forgetting.
Who's that dude? Oh,
Connor.
Connor.
And
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's feet are going to see a lot more targets. You're going to see them doing a lot of activity to make up for the lack of targets that Rondale Moore will be getting. Will be targeting Murray running the ball instead.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the news. All right, so so yeah, that was our Merry Early Christmas. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Something that we do. Well, you see, when there's injuries, we say Merry Early Christmas to somebody. But
That
let's
we
get
do.
to the news.
Good news, no news is good news. You ain't got any rules if you ain't got any canoe. Ha!
Gary Gnu. All right. So the Baltimore Ravens and quarterback Lamar Jackson did not agree to terms on a contract extension before today's deadline. The negotiations are now over. Connor, what does that mean for this year? I know what it means for next year or the offseason. It's going to be a crazy offseason. But for this year, impact, no impact, big deal, no big deal. What do you think?
I like Lamar Jackson. I've always liked him. I always like the fact that he represents himself and, just kind of that, you know, startup personality. And he's always seems to me the read that I get off him, sometimes I don't know why it's just like I have my guys that are my guys because I like him. Lamar, he gave me this, so I've always liked him. And
Yeah.
to me, he's a winner. To me, he's a winner, and uh, I think he's going to play really hard this season, and he's going to do great for fantasy.
Okay. All right. There you
Yeah.
go. The New York Giants have announced that they expect Sterling Shepard to be good to go for Week 1. With the receiver core being so ambiguous, is he worth a roster spot or at least for a stash? Given he's normally one of Daniel Jones' favorite targets. What do you think?
I mean, if you really need a wide receiver, yeah, maybe, but I feel like you can wait till after the game and then pick him up. So if you think he's gonna blow up and you want to pick him up before you have to deal with that pesky waiver wire communism bullshit, yeah. But I don't. I live in America. I have American fantasy leagues, so I don't have a waiver wire.
Kadarius Toney or Shepard? Sterling Shepard. Who do you want? Who?
Pass. That's what I
No,
want.
no. You have to pick one. Pick one.
Uh, Not Sterling Shepard. Kadarius.
Okay.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles running back Miles Sanders says that he's healthy and ready to go for the opener versus the Lions. He had been dealing with a hamstring injury picked up in preseason. Okay. Okay, that's just me just moving on, just giving you information there. Baltimore Ravens running back J.K. Dobbins' status is still considered to be up in the air.
Speaking of people who are injured,
Yeah, but we don't really expect him. Do you expect him to suit up, Connor, at all?
I admitted that he's Dobby and not the Dobbinator. What does that tell you?
Yes! That tells me persistence is worth something in this world. Yeah.
Right.
Dobby! Little Dobby! That's awesome. Yeah, but if he does play, he'll probably be on a pick.
Speaking of Harry Potter, Voldemort gonna keep the streak alive. And
We're actually starting it. Yeah, we're starting it. Yeah.
Starting it again.
Yeah, no. Beginning of the year. Let's start it. Let's see if we can keep it going. Yeah, and for any new listeners, Voldemort is who? Connor, who's Voldemort
Taysom
in our
Hill,
world?
because he's evil and he just won't go away, and he ruins the fantasies of everyone.
Kamara, man. He's killing Kamara. He's killing Kamara.
And Mark,
Yeah.
and I mean, honestly, he brings wide receivers value down because every time he comes on the field, he lowers everyone's value except for him because of the propensity that he has to run the ball.
Yep. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Jalen Waddle has been upgraded to full participant in practice after dealing with a quad issue, so good news there. And here's a tale of two tight ends. Green Bay tight end Robert Tonyan had been removed from the final injury report, so Aaron Rodgers will have his favorite red zone target out on the field for the opener. And Zach Ertz. We talked about Zach Ertz. So we have one going up, one going down. Yeah, so yeah, tell of two tight ends, man. Yeah, it's just terrible. Yeah, so I was at the Zach Ertz. He's been dealing with the calf injury the whole season. We just kind of touched on the Merry Early
getting
Christmas.
older. Yeah, the Eagles let go of him at the right time, it seems.
Yeah, and what's unfortunate is that his prime was going to be the first 6 weeks without D-Hop, and he's already going to miss one of them. So if you drafted him, you might want to just go ahead and think about just pivoting. If Gerald Everett's still there, Austin Hooper's there, Njoku, if he's there, make sure and grab those guys.
This is why you draft Mark Andrews.
Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Deontay Johnson was a full participant in practice today and looks to be on track to play in the opener versus the Bengals. Michael Thomas, New Orleans Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas, and Tyrann Mathieu. Is that how you say Tyrann Mathieu, right? The Honey Badger. How do you say his last name,
I just
dude?
call him the Honey Badger.
Okay, yeah, Tyrann Mathieu are both questionable in the opener versus Atlanta. Also in that game, rookie wide receiver Drake London is also listed as questionable, so that's unfortunate. Then we have Denver Broncos. Oh, listen to this, dude. This is exciting. I'm wearing the hat. I'm wearing the hat. And yes, I'm a very big Javonte Williams fan. That Javonte Williams fan. Yeah, and I think this is just a gingerly way of saying, dude, it's J Will time, man. Let's ride. That's what I'm saying. Did you decipher it the same way, or am I just seeing it through orange-colored glasses?
All aboard the Chavon train!
Yeah, dude, we're gonna see something beautiful happen. That's exciting. Oh, great time to be a Broncos fan. Christian McCaffrey is off the injury report, and he took a cleat to the shin on Thursday and is considered good to go. And Chase Edmonds.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It sounded like you said he took a fleet to the shit.
Oh no, he took a cleat to the shin.
A cleat to the shin. That sounds a lot better.
Yes, yeah. I need to enunciate better. Cleat.
I think I need to hear better.
Okay, no, I don't know. I would say it's on my end before I say it's on yours.
Aww.
You're young, dude. Your ears are still growing, so to speak. And Chase Edmonds has been removed from the injury list, so yay, everybody there. But we're still not sure what's going to happen with the goal line there. All right. So that's any news that I missed that you want to hit on?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. And before we go on to we're going to get to the shoot or cease fire, which is basically the starter sit for week one, for the week one game. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and give props to the supporters of the show.
High Volume Music Radio, the pride of Sunnyside, with shows like Rock and Roll Radio, Bring Back the A-Track, The Brown Sugar Express, and Blame It on the Boogie with Aunt Boogie. Log in now at highvolumeradio.com. And remember, if it ain't high volume, it ain't loud enough.
Now back to Shoot the Gap with your host, Brian, the Amigo Baldwin.
All right, okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that little commercial there. It's pretty cool, pretty neat. Yeah, make sure and check them out. Yeah, we're very thankful for them. And so we're gonna go ahead and jump straight into the shoot or ceasefire. Now we're trying to stay above talking about players because we have a lot of information to give in a short amount of time. So we're gonna try to stay within like above 75% rostered players according to the Yahoo platform. We're trying to help you guys get as much information we can on players that are going to be relevant and probably on your roster. So does that sound agreeable to you, Connor? Try to stay above that threshold. I might dip a little bit underneath But for
I'll
the
give my perspective as necessary, and sometimes addition by subtraction.
all right, so last year you did this big do 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 da 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 da. You got to do with introducing the games. Do you want to do that, or do you want me to take it?
Well, first game I have is I have them pulled up on the NFL Yahoo scoreboard for everyone who's watching to see. So is it cool if we go by that order, or do you have a specific order?
Man, give me a second if they're not in the same order I have. We should probably talked about this before
Yeah.
the show, but hey, chaos is entertainment, so go
Right?
for it, dude.
Bueno pues. Well, first off, I have the New Orleans Saints battling off against the Atlanta Falcons with a 43-point over-under. New Orleans is the 5.5-point favorite.
Nice. Yeah, it's a noon game, and it's going to be in the dome, so we don't have to worry about weather. You'll see as we go through these games that I did go ahead and do a weather report, where I checked on what the weather is going to be at places that weather matters. But it's a dome, so let's go. I'll go and start off with New Orleans. Okay, I would shoot on Kamara because you drafted him high and you're excited, but I would tone down expectations. Last season with Ingram, his touches went from 24 a game to 15. Okay, so that's what you're looking at. Plus, who does he have to worry about, Connor? Voldemort. Yeah. And so so my list is really small. Okay, and I'll explain myself because I also go to the ceasefire on New Orleans. That's the shoot on Kamara and Will Lutz because they're playing in a dome. Okay, and the dude hit a 59-yard kick in preseason. All right, so they're going to be needing him. I'm ceasefiring, of course, on Michael Thomas and Chris Olave. Why? Because you pick them low enough to where you can actually wait on them. And that's going to be a theme through this whole thing. All right, it's because it's week one. It doesn't matter if you don't want to lose, but if you lose, it doesn't matter. Okay, this ring, I started off 0-2. This ring, I started off 0-3. It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's be smart.
You should be trying to win, though.
Right, of course, but I would say that, and with that in mind, with Olave, Jarvis, and Thomas, I would just go ahead and let's wait and see what happens. You should have better options, okay, because you picked those guys really late in your draft. So put them on the bench. Let's see what happens. If they pop, fantastic. You have something next year or next week. Who would you shoot or cease fire on with Atlanta?
I'm gonna keep it short. I'm gonna keep it simple. Young Wei Koo, of course. I'm not starting the Falcons defense. I am not looking Drake London's way. I'm not looking any of the wide receivers' way. I am, however, looking at a wide receiver converted to running back. That's right. I'm looking at Patterson week one because he has that veteran presence. And while I don't think he's someone you can look at consistently, I think you can count on him for week one. Of course, I also think you should be looking at Kyle Pitts. Those are really the only two guys I'm shooting on.
Yeah, I agree with that. Almost everything. Except for the Patterson pick. You're going against New Orleans. Okay, the new head coach is a defensive guy. That's his focus. The New
I'm
Orleans
feeling
defense.
spicy.
Okay, but I'm just okay. You feel spicy. I'll feel logical. Okay, again, you pick these guys low. You should have a better option. I would go ahead and put them on the bench. Let's see how the touch works out. I understand that Patterson is going to be they're going to be playing from behind, so he's the pass catching back. But let's see how him and Damian Williams share things. At least that's my opinion. But I do agree with everything else that you said, especially Young Wei Koo, even though he's under 75% rostered. Can you believe that, Connor? Can you believe that?
Yes.
Moving on.
Next, we have the San Francisco 49ers facing off against the Chicago Bears. The game is going to be a 40.5-point contest over under with San Francisco as 7-point favorites.
Excellent. That's a noon game. Now this is outside. It's in Chicago, so it's forecasted to be 80 degrees, 24% chance of rain, and 13-mile-an-hour winds. So, but not too bad. Not too bad. You go and get us started off, Connor.
Yeah, well, just for starters, I'm going to take the over and I'm going to take Chicago to upset because this sounds like a Chicago kind of game, kind of bad weather. I don't really think that the Niners are going to be prepared with the injuries. I don't think that Trey Lance is going to be this hot shit that everyone's making him out to be. Can I talk about the Bears players?
You pick, dude. You got the first shot, and you're trying to go all over all of them. Okay, pick a team. Shooter sees fire, and I'll do the other one. It's a real easy
I'm
concept.
shooting on David
Okay.
Montgomery. I'm
Okay.
shooting on Darnell Mooney. And I still think that Justin Fields is going to be a little sloppy, so I'm not shooting on him. And I'm shooting on Cole Kmet if I'm really looking tight ends to stream. Obviously, I have Mark Andrews, so I'm not realistically starting Cole Kmet, but I would still shoot on Cole Kmet. Yeah, I know Brian's got Cole Kmet.
Dude, he's gonna easily get A plus targets. Book it.
Yeah, I would also start the Chicago Bears defense. I think that Trey Lance is going to be turnover happy, and turnovers are good for fantasy football.
Khalil Herbert.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so I agree with everything he said, except for I have a lot higher expectations. He's going to be a number 2 target. They're obviously going to be playing from behind. That defense is terrible. I would not shoot on the defense. Dude, they traded away their best player. Yeah, it's not. I just wouldn't do it. I understand.
They did address the secondary through the draft, and they are improving. But theoretically, if you have a good secondary and you have a suspect quarterback, there is a pathway to success for fantasy.
And it violates our under 75% roster rule because they're like 22% roster. Because I did look them up.
Yeah, well, hey, okay. I'm calling things that are under 22%
okay,
roster.
Okay, you go for it. You do basis. You do you, man. You do you. Yeah, San Francisco. I would shoot on Lance because I don't respect that Chicago defense.
No respect.
I don't. And Debo, of course, Brandon Ayuk, like Connor alluded to earlier, he should get more looks with Kittle gone. Eli Mitchell, even though Lance will run, and it looks a little bit like there's going to be a committee again. The Chicago defense is very suspect. All right, so I think that there's going to be. I really think they're going to be able to exploit it. So I would go ahead and shoot on him with confidence. Defense, the San Francisco
Brian
defense, of course.
On grown men with confidence.
Oh yeah, I sure am, dude, with a smile on my face too, like I always shoot. Yeah, and then ceasefire on all the tight ends, because I don't shoot on tight ends. So no, tight ends, yeah, all of them. Like I was
Brock
telling you,
shoots on all of them.
Yeah.
After every show, bro, he's just hogging them, man.
So like I said, Tyler Kroft, Ross Dwelly, you don't want that. You don't want that on your week 1. So yeah, so that's how I would. Anything you want to? Any comments on
Say
that?
la.
Moving on.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. The NFL is trying to save their asses and is making a lot of really exciting week 1 games with rivalries. It's a 44.5 point over-under game with the Bengals and 6.5 point favorites.
Awesome. That's a noon game. 84 degrees, 16% chance of rain, 8-mile-an-hour wind. So beautiful day to play some football.
This is some real AFC North weather.
Yeah. Did you choose the over and under? Which way you're gonna go?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Vegas's stat is pretty good. Cincinnati are 6.5 point favorites with a 44.5 over under, and I'm actually gonna take I'm gonna take the over, and I'm gonna take Cincinnati.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and start off, and I'll go easy. I'm going to give you the hard one. I'll take the easy one. Cincinnati. I'll take Cincinnati. So of course, you're going to shoot on Joe Mixon, Burrows, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Evan McPherson, the defense. You're going to do all that.
Yeah.
The only ones I wouldn't, again, tight ends. Okay. I don't think there's going to be enough volume for any of them. So I wouldn't do that. So that's why I said it's real easy. It's real easy on Cincinnati what to do. What do you do for Pittsburgh, Connor?
I'd say you start Deontay Johnson. Of course, you start Najee Harris. If you're really down bad looking for tight ends, maybe you're looking Freiermuth's way. And if you're even worse down for wide receivers, maybe you're looking Chase Claypool's way. You are definitely on something. You cannot pass a drug test if you are looking Mitch Trubisky's way for fantasy. And I do think that you can probably start the Steelers defense though.
No, I would not. I would not do that. I think you're on something if you do that.
You do that.
Yeah, yeah.
You're right. Let me come back to my senses. No, dude,
yeah. No. Come on.
So
dude,
we're just starting. We're starting.
Some water, some coffee.
You're right. We're starting. We're starting Najee and Deontay Johnson and Freiermuth if we're down bad. Claypool if we're down worse. That's it.
Yeah, I would take Pickens over Claypool. George Pickens over Claypool.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
I think I would do that. Yeah, because there's a lot of reports out of camp that he's looking real well, and that's the guy I would actually, if I was going to do a wide receiver for Pittsburgh, that's who I would shoot on. That injury for Johnson, that makes me nervous. I mean, I understand that he's able to go now. I'm sure, I don't know this for a fact, just speculation, but I'm sure it might have involved a needle with some sort of numbing substance inside it. So that usually is not good the next day. So I really think that I would stay away from it, especially against that Cincinnati defense. If you watched our mock drafts, and this is what surprises me, because Connor was the one who turned me on to it, was that Cincinnati's defense is really good. It's a really, really good defense, something you shouldn't be sleeping on. So for him
And
to
they
like
have
say
cool
that,
uniforms.
yeah, yeah. So for you to say that you would, trust, the Freiermuth and the Johnsons and all that, against that defense, that's surprising. But yeah, but no, there you go. Yeah, I'm not gonna go against you because you're going with your gut, and I
Well, yeah.
respect it.
Well, I mean, I would never. Just for the listeners on the show, I would never. I love myself too much to even put myself in that situation for fantasy. So I'm
I think
sorry
all
if you're.
I think all of us believe that statement that you do love your. Moving on.
The Philadelphia Eagles take on another crappy middling team that's trying to prove themselves in the Detroit Lions with a 48.5 over under. The Eagles are favored to win by 5.
Nice. This is a noon game, and it's a dome game, so who cares about the
Home
weather?
game.
Yeah, over under, dude. Over under.
Oh, I'm actually taking the Eagles because it's a dome game. I'm taking the over. Actually, no, I'm taking the. No, I'm taking the over and I'm taking the Eagles.
Okay, there you go. The gut has spoken. Why don't
I'm
you go ahead
taking
and get?
the over in 3 of these games. 3 out of the 4 games. We're only taking 1 under.
It's gonna be a fun weekend. That's what
Yeah.
that means. Yeah, I mean, dude,
Yeah.
because he's a gut for a reason. He's wearing rings because of that gut. So there's something going on in there. Go ahead and pick a team. Do the shooter sees fire on it. Go for it.
Yeah. So I'll do the Eagles because they got Devonta Smith, and I like him. So I'm gonna
Okay.
shoot on him, and I'm gonna shoot on AJ Green. I think that Hurts is gonna have fun with his new toys.
AJ Green, really?
I'm sorry, AJ Brown.
That's the right color.
I'm also gonna start Dallas Goddard as well as Hurts. I don't respect Jared Goff on a personal level, so I always want to start whatever defense he's playing, but I don't know if the Eagles defense is that good for fantasy purposes.
Strong. Yeah, dude, they have an incredible set of cornerbacks, and they traded for an outstanding safety from New Orleans right before the season.
I'm changing my answer. I'm taking the under on this game.
Yeah, dude, James Bradbury,
Taking
dude.
the
Remember that
under,
name?
And I'm
Remember that
shooting.
name?
I have just busted. I'm sorry. I have just accidentally shot on the Eagles. On the
Excuse
Eagles.
me.
Excuse
Pardon.
me. Yeah. On the Eagles defense.
Pardon. Yeah, dude. No, I'm a big fan. I mean, I had a choice. I chose the Philadelphia defense for that reason. I have a feeling there's always a defense that comes out of nowhere that's undrafted. Last year was the Dallas
And
Cowboys.
it's who Jared Goff's playing. That's the rule.
Well, that helps. Yeah, I mean that matchup, the first week matchup did help, absolutely. But I do think that they're going to be a fantastic defense. I really do think that Philadelphia, especially since what Connor was talking about with how they have these new weapons for Philadelphia. Anybody you'd see fire on for Philadelphia?
The running backs who aren't named Jalen Hurts.
You wouldn't even do Sanders for a flex, maybe? I mean, they're playing against.
I love myself too much to put myself in that situation. So it's
okay.
like I feel like if I'm telling someone to do it, it's like telling them something that I would never do. So it's unauthentic.
Okay, yeah. Well, last year the Detroit defense gave up the third most points to running back.
Look, man, it's not a healthy situation. Sanders talked on podcasts about how he thinks he should be getting the ball more and isn't. Like that's not.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
Yeah, trust me.
No, I was just asking. Good enough. Yeah, I mean it's either or. I mean it's kind of like you're on the fence with it, but Yeah,
No,
right
I
now.
feel it deeply, but I don't know. Like I've seen him put up points in the past when I doubted him. So it's like one of those guys where it's like I don't have the beat on him, so I don't mess with it at all.
Okay. Detroit, I'll take it. Of course, I'd shoot on DeAndre Swift, of course. TJ Hawkinson, yeah, of course. I mean, why not? Amon-Ra St. Brown. Goff loves throwing to the slot, and he runs 80% of his routes in the slot.
There you
So
go.
it's perfect setup for him. For as far as what I would cease fire on, the DJ Shark. That's the one that I saw that was rostered that above or at close to the mark where I would make a comment. 'Cause I'm not going to say about the defense or the kicker, whatever. They're not anywhere. But DJ Shark, I would just go ahead and cease fire on him just because for the same reason like I gave before. You pick them low. You have your guys. You can go ahead and roll with these dudes and let's just see what happens there. Don't get frothy on the week one. All right, let's just see what happens. So that's why I kind of agree with Connor, even though that stat about the Detroit defense giving up the third most points to running backs last year. First of all, I want to underline last year, but also you can just put him on you picked him low enough where you should have picked him low enough to where you can just sit him there, see what happens. Let's see what goes on. Anything more to add, Connor?
Selah.
All right, moving on.
The divisional game. The New England Patriots are playing the Miami Dolphins for the question of which franchise with questionable shady behavior can come ahead on top. It's going to be a 46.5-point game over under with the Dolphins as favorites, 3.5.
Which way you go?
Crazy. Yeah, I'm actually agreeing with Vegas on this. I'm taking Miami. I'm taking the under on this game.
Good choice because it's a noon game. But it's going to be 88 degrees, and check this out, Connor, 60% chance of rain, and a 9-mile-an-hour wind. So it's probably going to be a rainy day. So whenever that happens, scoring goes down. So yeah, that was a good choice to go under. I'll go ahead and start it off. I'll start off with Miami. I would go ahead and shoot on Tyreek Hill. I would shoot on Jalen Waddle since he's healthy now, and also Chase Edmonds. Okay, when he's healthy, he gets most of the work. Okay, so I would go ahead and take that chance there. Sanders, I would get the kicker. I would go ahead and shoot on him, and also the defense for Miami. I would shoot on them. Who would I go ahead and cease fire on? Tua. Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Okay, it's not because I don't like Tua, but let's just sit him down. Let's see what happens. All those other guys I just said, they kind of have what I would say a safe enough floor to go ahead and start. Tua, let's see what happens. Mike Gesicki, dude, no, I don't even know why he's rostered. He's going to be a blocker, but let's just see what happens. And Raheem Mostert, I just want to see how those things are handled. I alluded to it earlier that we don't know how the goal line is. The last I heard out of training camp is that the speculation is that Raheem Mostert will be handling the goal line, and then Chase Edmonds will be doing the other, between the 20s. But of course, we also heard out of training camp that Cam Akers was a 1A. So who knows? Let's go ahead and put Mostert. Let's just see what happens. Go ahead. Anything you disagree with that? And if not, then go ahead and take New England.
Selah. I'm shooting on. Who am I shooting on? Hunter Henry. I'm looking Hunter Henry's way.
Whoa!
Why?
Really? Okay.
That's really the only guy that I can think of.
Not Ramondre Stevenson?
I feel like
Harris?
I feel like they're gonna split the work. The last thing I heard Bill Belichick say just made me think, he's just gonna fucking keep using the both of those guys.
Okay, so just sit them to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm back to my.
That's smart.
Yeah, because
that's smart.
Yeah,
smart. So that's. What about their defense or the kicker, Folk?
No, I mean there's other kickers. I'm not drafting him. You can get a better kicker than that if.
No way, dude. He finished 3 points under the leader last year, which was Daniel
really?
Carlson. Yeah, he was the number two overall kicker. Nick Folk was, and he was only 3 points under him.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't really. Sure, you've persuaded me. I'll
Hey,
yeah.
my wife will be happy. She drafted.
Okay.
Yeah, so. All right. What about Mac Jones or Devontae Parker? Any
No,
thing?
I'm
No.
waiting. I'm waiting.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. Hunter Henry was interesting. Yeah, so
I'm-
basically
I'm desperate.
what we both agree on is the defense and Nick Folk. So there we go.
I'm
on
not
to
necessarily shooting on the Patriots defense.
Oh, okay. Well, then we disagree on that. We agree on Nick Folk. Good
Yes.
job on Folk. All right, moving on.
All right, in the Battle of Joe Flacco, the Baltimore Ravens are playing the New York Jets. You have a couple of revenge games this week, but this is the ultimate revenge game. No quarterback who was a Super Bowl MVP like Joe Flacco exists. I'm kidding. He's washed. He sucks. It's going to be a 44-point over-under with the Ravens as 6.5-point favorites. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the Ravens. I'm talking about the Ravens, guys. I'm shooting on Mark Andrews. I'm shooting on Lamar Jackson. I'm shooting on Justin Tucker. I'm shooting on the Ravens defense. I'm shooting on the Ravens special teams. And that's about it.
Bateman, Rashad Bateman,
Nah.
wide receiver one.
Nah.
What about the running backs?
Maybe Mike Davis.
The joke is you did shoot on a running back, Lamar Jackson.
That's
the
true.
joke.
That is
Yeah.
the joke.
Yeah. So all the other ones, I would just go ahead and fire on. By the way, it's a noon game, 80 degrees, 16% chance of rain, 10-mile-an-hour wind. I'm just mentioning it because I researched it, but we're just keep going.
For that.
On the Jets, basically there's only one, Elijah Moore. Basically last year, Moore's fantasy value went through the roof whenever Flacco was throwing him the ball. So I think that they're going to be behind. They're going to have to throw it. I think he's really, really talented. So I think he'll do fine. Everything else, I would go ahead and cease fire on. We don't know what's going to happen with Michael Carter and Brees Hall. We don't know how that's going to work out. We don't know how everything with the Garrett Wilson. We don't know how that's going to work. He's a rookie. So let's just go ahead and just sit down and just do Elijah Moore. Just move on. What do you think?
I'm not. Yeah.
All right.
Say la.
Moving on.
All right, we have something special. We have a fantasy doubleheader in the Mediocre Bowl. First off, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars facing off against the Washington Commanders. It's a 44 over-under with the Washington Team Football, WTF, as 2.5-point favorites.
Commanders.
I know. I was throwing back to the to the name we gave them.
Why would you do that? Don't do that. Don't be a dog to turn back on his own vomit. What's wrong with you?
I thought it was funny, and I think the commander's name is stupid. So
I don't know, dude. The Commandos would be awesome.
Yes. Or the Washington Foreskins, like we talked about.
Yeah, that's a noon game. 83 degrees, 22% chance of rain, 8-mile-an-hour winds. I believe it's your turn to start. So go ahead. And who would you start for?
I'll do the Jaguars. I'll shoot on Lawrence and Christian Kirk, and I'll shoot on the Jaguars defense because Carson Wentz sucks, and I'll shoot on. You know what? I'm feeling spicy. I might even shoot on Evan Ingram. Actually, no. The mere thought of that makes me pull away.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Not sure that said bad coming out of your mouth. Like, whoa.
I'll also shoot a little on ETN and James Robinson.
Nope. I'd cease fire on them. I'd want to wait to see how that split is, even against the weekend Washington Commander defense, because Chase Young is injured, and I think he got actually injured in Von Miller's camp. So they need to check on that, see what's going on there. And why did all of a sudden this star
Von Miller's like, nah, it's me.
Yeah, he put the banana peel outside his bunk. Yeah, he sure did.
He's not the one.
Yeah. So the running backs, I myself would not, because I just want to see what's going to happen. I understand everybody's excited, but I want to see if ETN's going to explode like he should, or if Robinson's going to do just enough and take just enough of the important snaps away to where ETN is more meh than he is, exciting.
Well, talking about exciting, who are you shooting on for the Washington Commanders?
One thing I just wanted to make sure, and I'll tell you in a second, but Washington, they did yield the third most fantasy points to slot receivers last season, and Christian Kirk lines up there 79% of the time, and he was paid like a wide receiver.
So you agree with me?
Yes, 100%. Backing you up, man. I'm the
Thank
guy. I'm
you.
the proverbial guy behind you going, yeah. That's me right now. Yeah. So Washington, one person only, really, and this is kind of a this is like a which is Antonio Gibson because of usage only.
Really,
But
him over Scary Terry.
oh, dude, Terry is scary because of Carson Wentz, man. I would want to sit him because
You're right. You're right.
Carson Wentz makes me nervous, dude. It makes me nervous, and I would say
Yeah.
that even if you picked McLaurin higher, I think that I would pick. Let me ask you this: this will be prove my point. Connor, Terry McLaurin or Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith.
Thank you. And where did you pick? Where would you have to pick McLaurin, and where did you get Smith? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so see, I would sit McLaurin just to see, what's going to happen, and there has to be something better. Elijah Moore, I would pick him before I pick McLaurin, just to see what happens, because Wentz is scary. And you're going against Jacksonville, I think that's going to be retooled. When you said earlier at the top, you said the mediocre bowl. I think you're only half right. I think Jacksonville's going to surprise people.
No, it's mediocre because the Jacksonville is a mediocre franchise.
That's what we've seen, but let's see. They now have a pedigree coach, and let's see what he did.
That's why it's called
the
a mediocre bowl. You have a chance to compete out of it. And speaking of two other teams that are trying to compete out of the wait, I didn't even do the over under for the Jack. No, we're taking Jacksonville and we're taking the under.
Cool. All right, moving on.
The other two teams in the mediocre bowl are the Cleveland Browns and the team that was, for some reason, wanting to get Baker Mayfield from them, the Carolina Panthers. This game has a 42-point over-under, with Carolina as 0-point favorites. This game is so boring, even Vegas knows it.
Yeah, it's not an it's a big yawn. It's like, that's what it is, dude.
That actually was talk to speech, and the Vegas exec which went, and it came back as a 0.
That's awesome. Well, I can tell you 2 words. The reason why they went after Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and the dude is hurt. So yeah, they made the right decision.
Both mentally and physically. He was seen theoretically crying while they were announcing Baker Mayfield as the favorite.
It's
and
a noon game.
Who cries a lot. I am still making fun of him for that.
Oh, cut down on the soy milk. So it's a noon game. 83. It'll be 83 degrees. 40% chance of rain, 7-mile-per-hour wind. I'll go and get started. I'll jump on Cleveland. Let me go and talk about it. I would shoot on Nick Chubb. I would shoot on Kareem Hunt. And I agree with Connor. I would shoot on David Njoku. Jacoby Brissett ranks top 3 in targets to tight ends over the last 5 years. So, yeah, Njoku is actually a really good pick. Who would I seize fire on? Amari Cooper. He's never commanded over 22% of the target share, and he has Brissett as his quarterback. So, yeah, I would go ahead and seize fire on him. Anything you want to say about that, or just move on to Carolina?
I want to move on. I'm taking the Cleveland, and I'm taking the under.
Okay, Carolina. Who are you going to shoot? Who you going to shoot and seize fire on?
I am passing.
Oh, okay, then I will.
Hard pass. No, I'm saying I'm not shooting on any of them.
Dude, CMC, I would. DJ Moore, I would.
Yeah, besides him, but I'm shooting on CMC. I'm not shooting on anyone else, though.
Yeah, I know you don't like DJ Moore, but yeah,
no.
But see, I would, because I really feel that this game is the one that you want to start him, because Baker Mayfield's going to try really hard. It's a revenge game. He's going to want to prove his point.
Yeah, but he's a gunslinger. He likes to spread it around.
Well, I just think that DJ Moore is going to be somebody who's going to focus on. Just my opinion. But with that idea, I would cease fire on Robbie. All right, moving on.
This is exciting. Texans, homer game for me. Indianapolis Colts are facing off in the AFC South showdown with the Houston Texans. This game has a 45.5-point over-under, with the Colts as 7-point favorites.
Yeah, this is a noon game. It's in a dome, so who cares about the weather? Go ahead and pick. Well, go and pick Houston. Don't even guess. Pick Houston. Who would you shoot or cease fire on?
I'm shooting on Pierce. I'm shooting on Cooks. I'm shooting on Younghoe Koo.
Younghoe Koo?
I'm sorry. I'm shooting on Fairbairn. And I am not shooting on the... Yeah, I'm feeling spicy because it's a dome. I am not shooting on Fairbairn. I take that back. I am not shooting on the Texans defense. I don't really think I'm shooting on anyone else on the Texans. I think
I
that's
agree.
about it. Yeah.
I agree. In the Colts, I do Michael Pittman Jr. Of course, J Train Taylor. Of course, you're going to go ahead and shoot on him. Naeem Hines, but as a flex, I would go ahead and give him a shot because I think that they're going to get ahead on Houston, and they're going to want to rest Taylor. So that's the reason why I'm throwing that out there. The defense, I would shoot on, even though, like we talked about, Shaq Leonard being hurt, and then of course Rodrigo. Come on, let's give some love to little Blankenship, little Rodrigo Blankenship. Who would I see fire on? Matt Ryan. Okay, let's just wait and see what his production will be. Same with the other wide receivers. Let's just wait and see on those guys. Same with the tight end. I know the largest man in the world plays for him, Mo Alley Cox. But let's just see. Yes, let's just see. Let's just see what happens. These are the ones that we're talking about. Like as we're talking about the start and the start specifically for week 1. These are ones that that you're pretty much sure are going to produce.
I think
so
Jonathan.
Guys are.
I'm sorry. I think
No, go ahead.
Jonathan Taylor is going to score multiple touchdowns on the ground and have at least 40 receiving yards.
That sounds logical in the first half.
I'm taking the over, and I'm taking Indianapolis. I'm going to be honest. I think that the Colts are going to be really excited to have Matt Ryan on the team. They're going to be excited to have a real quarterback that can make throws. And with that offensive line, with that running game, with those wide receivers, I think they can make some noise, and I think they're going to score a lot of points. I also think the Texans could score a touchdown or two in garbage time, so they're going to cover their half of the spread.
Yeah, makes sense. Moving on.
Next, we have two teams with really good running backs, and one of those running backs also has a good team. The New York Giants are facing off against the Tennessee Titans. It's a 44 over-under with the Titans as 5.5-point favorites.
That's a 3:25 game. First afternoon game that we're talking about. It's 81 degrees. And listen to this, Connor. 63% chance of rain and 8-mile-an-hour winds.
Sounds like a run-the-ball game.
Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the extremely easy one since I'm going to get first pick. I'm going to go with Giants. Okay, real easy. Saquon Barkley. That's it.
Done. Good job.
That's it. I'm done. You take Tennessee.
Well, I'm going to take Tennessee, and I'm going to take the under for this game. And for the players, Ryan, we get to share Derrick Henry this year. This is going to be a fun year for us. Give me some skin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, some ring love.
Oh, some ring love. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
also my friend Alec, I did a draft with him. He did a 14-man draft this week. And he
must hate himself.
He got Derrick Henry with his first pick. I was there with him every step of the way. We were eating wings. He got Josh Allen with the second pick of the draft, and he got the Davis stack. So me and him were having a lot of fun on Thursday night. And
sounds like you guys were making eye contact when it was going on too.
Yeah, and now the three of us get to make eye contact with Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
And
we'll see.
That's the only guy I'm shooting on for the. I'm joking. I'll shoot on the Titans defense, and I'll shoot on the Titans kicker.
All right. What about Hooper? Dude, Tennessee has the most vacated targets in the NFL. Supposedly, there's some chemistry built between Hooper and Tannehill. Hooper was used incorrectly
I'll shoot on
in
Hooper.
Cleveland.
Yeah, I'll shoot on Hooper.
Yeah, he was used incorrectly in Cleveland, but when used correctly, he was pretty good. So I'm with you. Like with Woods, dude, I would go ahead and cease fire on Woods. Let's just see how well he is. Let's just see how it goes. The wide receivers in general is going to be kind of tough to trust because it's going to be rainy. And so, I'm with you on that. There's not really much you said that I disagree with.
Cool.
Moving on.
Next, we have another divisional game in the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. Will the purple jerseys trip out Aaron Rodgers after his ayahuasca trip, just like the Announcer got tripped up trying to say that joke. It's going to be a 46.5 point over under with the Green Bay Packers as lowly 1.5 point favorites.
Yeah, another afternoon game. It's a dome, so who cares about the weather? You get first pick. Go for it. Which one you want to talk
I'm
about?
taking the Vikings, and I'm actually taking the Vikings for the upset this game. I'm taking the Vikings, and I'm taking the under. I don't think that the Packers will be able to produce without Lazard or Devontae Adams on that team anymore. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to miss him a lot. And
All right, but yeah, who are you going to shoot us these fire on? Pick a
shooting
team.
on Thielen, shooting on Jefferson, shooting on Cousins, shooting on Cook. And that's
Dome
it.
game. So who
Dome
else?
game. I'll shoot on the kicker, I guess.
Yeah, Greg Joseph. Yeah. What about Irv Smith? Big old Smith.
Yeah. No.
No. I want to see how well he is first, because he was injured and he missed a lot of camp. So let's just see how he is and how acclimated he is. I agree with you on everything you just said. Green Bay. I would shoot on Aaron Rodgers. Of course, Sammy Watkins. We just talked about. No Lazard. Christian Watson is a rookie and just returned. Romeo Dobbs is a rookie. Okay, so yeah, Sammy Watkins is going to be that Lizard King week. So yeah, if you're feeling frothy, I would go ahead and jump on that. Aaron Jones, of course. AJ Dillon, how about that? Dude, both of those guys I would go ahead and shoot on. And the defense, they're ranked pretty high. I know, I agree with you, all those other people to shoot on, but the defense is ranked real high. And I think they'll be able to get to Kirk Cousins and get enough sacks and enough stops to be able to produce for you. And also, here's a name coming out of the history of Connor that he used to love. He used to endorse this guy last year. If you were watching this last year, that was this dude's guy. Yeah, Mason Crosby. Yeah, I would go ahead and.
He's joking. I hated Mason Crosby.
But no, he's the kicker, so I would go.
Yeah. Him and the kicker for the Steelers. I hated them. I had whole speeches about it.
Yes, you sure did.
I sure did.
All right, moving on.
Next up, we have a very exciting game for two teams in red. The Kansas City Chiefs face off against the Arizona Cardinals with a 53.5 over under. The Chiefs are 6.5 point favorites. Ooh, Brian, you got the pick.
Oh, well, I'm going to go with the shooter sees fire, but you're the guy who chooses the over under. That's you.
That's you. You're right. My bad.
You're a Toonsmith. That's what you do.
This is a rule I have on this show, and I have gotten a lot of Kansas City games wrong because of this, and I don't give a fuck. I always take the over on any Chiefs game. And I'm taking the over, and I'm taking the Chiefs to win.
Oh, interesting. Okay, it's an afternoon game.
At first I actually wrote down the Cardinals, and then I just thought to myself, I'm like, they don't have D-Hop. Ertz probably isn't going to be there. I just don't see a pathway.
Yep. So afternoon game. It's going to be a dome. So who cares about the weather? I'll go ahead and start it. And of course, whenever I start it, I always go for the low hanging fruit. So I'll go do that. Mahomes. Yep. I will go Kelsey. Yep. Harrison Bucker. Yep. Anybody else? Nope. Not like I know that the wide receivers that we each have our theories on who's going to break out. But Mahomes just a couple of days ago sent out a tweet apologizing to fantasy players because he is going to spread the ball around and there's not going to be an actual wide receiver one. This is from the quarterback to fantasy players.
I don't believe
to your face, telling you that he's going to be spreading it around. And I agree with it because anytime when Tyreek Hill was hurt, that's exactly what he did. And Tyreek Hill was a jerk.
Right.
That's one thing I liked about him. He always demanded the ball. And so whenever he was gone, they spread it around. So I think that's what they're going to do. The running backs, just, dude, if you have them on your team, cool, that's fine. I understand. But let's just watch and see what happens. Even if you have Hilaire, you're excited. Let's just see what happens. The defense, I would cease fire on the. All right, your turn, Connor.
I'm gonna do I guess I'll do the Cardinals. I'm shooting on Murray. I'm shooting on Hollywood. I'm shooting on Connor. I'm shooting on Matt Prater, and that's it.
I agree with you 100% on that. Yeah, don't fall for the trap of AJ Green.
Yeah,
I agree. Or the defense. Yeah, because it's going against Kansas. All right, moving on. I think we only got we got
three more games.
Yeah. Let's go. Okay, let's keep pushing.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're Yeah,
Not as good as I wanted to, but let's just keep going.
same. Yeah, okay. We'll speed it up. Lightning round. Speaking of lightning, the Las Vegas Raiders are facing off against their divisional opponent, the Los Angeles Chargers, the second coolest team in their city with the first coolest uniforms. Now, this is going to be a 52 over under, sorry, with the Chargers as 3.5 point favorites. Now, I'm going to go first, and I'm also going to take the Chargers and the over. I think this is going to be an exciting game, one of the top 5 most exciting games of the week. I think we're going to get to see both of these quarterbacks air it out and have fun. I'm going to talk about the Raiders because I know that Brian really likes the Chargers. I'm going to shoot.
Even though I don't have any of them on my team.
I just know you. I know you like them. And I have Chargers players, but I want to hear you sing their praises. I'm going to shoot on Derek Carr. I'm going to shoot on Devontae Adams. I'm going to shoot on Waller. And you know what? I'm feeling fucking spicy. I'm shooting on Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, for a flex. Yeah, he could be more.
And I'm shooting on the kicker. I'm not shooting on either defense for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. What about, did you mention Waller?
Yeah, I already did.
Okay. Hunter Renfro.
Nah.
Yeah, I'd want to wait to see his.
I want to wait to see.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, and the other running backs, Zamir White, Brandon Bolden, Amir Abdullah. Yeah, you kind of want to just sit and see how they're going to be used. But Jacobs looks like he has at least something where he'd be flex worthy, especially in a 12-man. We didn't mention it. It's the afternoon game. It's a dome, so who cares about the weather? But on to my Chargers, or to the Chargers, because I don't have anybody. So it's y'all's Chargers. Yeah, of course, dude. I mean, this is so easy. This one is super easy. Herbert, yes. Allen, Keenan Allen, yes. Mike Williams, yes. Even though I think Mike Williams is going to score higher than Allen. Austin Eckler, yes. Dustin Hopkins, yes. That's the kicker. The defense, yes. Who do we cease fire on? The tight ends. Let's just wait to see the usage. How is it going to be with Everett and Donald Parham? I don't know. There's been a lot of talk out of camp that Parham likes to go long. There's a lot of talk out of camp that Everett is a really good target, and he always flourishes and has great hands. I mean, let's just see what happens, and then you can choose which way you're going to go. Both of those guys probably went undrafted, and if not, they went really low in your draft, so you can sit them and watch them and see.
Okay.
Moving
on, we'll do so this is going to be the Sunday night football game, and of course the Cowboys get to be in this game, even though they're probably not going to cover their half of the spread. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers go up against the Dallas Cowboys. It's a 50.5 point spread with the Bucs as 2.5 point favorites.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's a dome game, but
taking
it's
the
more
Bucs, and I'm taking the under.
It's more like like that Dallas stadium is more like a toilet dome. It looks like a toilet. It doesn't really look like a dome. So that's what I'm calling it, the toilet dome. That's what it looks like.
The toilet bowl.
Yeah, it's like exactly.
Anytime the Cowboys are on Sunday Night Football, we're calling it or Thursday night or Monday night, we're calling it the toilet bowl. And if they're hosting.
All right. So I will go ahead. I'll start. I'll start with Dallas. I go and shoot on Dak Prescott. Ezekiel Elliott, I would go and shoot on him because his usage I think is going to be enough to make you happy, but don't get too excited. CeeDee Lamb, of course. Dalton Schultz, of course. The defense, yes, I like the defense for the Cowboys, so we go and do that. And also Tony Pollard, I would go and shoot on them, even though I'm very worried about their O-line. Very, very, very worried about it. So
I think that's does better things for Pollard than Zeke.
Oh, I agree with you 100% on that. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Zeke has a really, I believe it was some sort of like his numbers got cut in half whenever the lineman they just lost. Whenever he was out of the game, like he couldn't get anywhere. But when the lineman was there, all of a sudden it was like 94% success rate. It was crazy. Yeah, and that's the guy that's gone. So yeah, it's gonna be very tough sledding for those guys. I would go ahead and cease fire on all the other wide receivers. And Connor, seriously, dude, this is an honest question. Who is the kicker for the Dallas Cowboys? I have no clue. At last I read it was Brett Mayer. Then I looked into onto the Yahoo account and it says inactive coach's decision.
You know that this is my knowledge of kickers, and then this is like your knowledge of you. You know that.
I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to prove a point. If anybody, I went online to look that I couldn't find a place kicker. I went onto the Dallas Cowboy official website, which is actually a sin for people in Houston to do, or that were born in Houston to do.
Shame.
Okay, and I went there just for the sake of the show, and I could not find the place kicker. So don't start them. Okay, ceasefire. Okay, go ahead, take Tampa Bay.
Brady, Fournette, Mike Evans, defense, Julio Jones. That's it.
What about Ryan Suckup, the kicker?
Yes.
And he needs the tight ends, feeling frothy?
No, not that
All right.
frothy. My frothiness frothed on Julio Jones.
Okay. I agree with all your picks there. I agree with that. There's nothing I can say about it. Yeah, moving on.
Time for the unlimited revenge game of the week.
Let's ride.
Let's ride. Brian, as the Broncos fan, do you want to do the honors for this game?
Sure. Give me the over-under. I'll take it. Go for it.
The Denver Broncos are facing off against the Seattle Seahawks. It's a 44 over-under with the Broncos as 6.5-point favorites.
Over. And I'll take the Broncos. No. Yeah. No, yeah, I'm not going to get too excited. Yeah, I think that it's actually going to be under.
You chose correctly. I have the Broncos in the under as well.
Yeah, because I don't think the Seahawks will be able to hold their end up. But I do take the Broncos winning the game. It's going to be 56 degrees out there, 7% chance of rain, 4 mile an hour wind. I chose first last time. You choose who you want to start first.
Well, since I don't get to have Courtland Sutton in any of my leagues, I'm going to talk about him. I am shooting on Russell Wilson. I am shooting all over Courtland Sutton, a double blessing. Whatever Elisha got, I'm doing that ratio. He's getting 2 shots worth. I'm shooting on Jerry Jeudy for flex purposes. Or if I am down bad and it's wide receiver 2 situation, if it's really, but I love myself too much for that, but I still would do it. I am also shooting all over Javonte. Javonte gets a full load worth of being shot on. I am not shooting on Melvin Gordon. I am saying, no thank you, please. You have to be this tall to ride the roller coaster. That's it for the Broncos.
The defense.
I'm shooting on the defense, and I'm shooting on McMagnus.
I'm about to say, dude, you have him on your team. What's wrong with you? Yeah.
McMagnus.
What about Albert Wiggum?
Oh, I will not be shooting on Mr. Albert O.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with everything you said except for Melvin Gordon.
I also won't be drafting him in single-digit rounds.
Yeah, I would go ahead and I would shoot on Melvin Gordon because we're just not sure how it's going to be used. So I would, yeah. But for like flex, something like that. I would. Yeah,
I'm not looking his way for best ball purposes.
Well, not best ball, no, dude. But I'm talking about redraft. Yeah,
No, I'm saying I'm never looking his way.
No, like the hot hand thing we just deciphered. It's going to be like that. That's giving him the.
And I'm telling you right now that Javonte's hands are hotter than Melvin Gordon's.
No, I agree with you, dude. But we're just talking about flex. I think as a flex, Gordon, especially in a 12 team, is not a bad thing.
Yeah, 12 team. Yeah, 14 team. Gordon in the flex. 12 team. But I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, and then on the on as far as shooting on Seattle, this one's real simple for me. Just Penny. That's it. Rashad Penny. That's all. That's it. Because with Kenneth Walker being kind of questionable, and if he does play, he probably won't play a full allotment. It's going to be Penny. He's going to be the lead back, and I know that the Denver defense is fantastic. But still, it's a offense that's led by Geno Smith, so they're going to need to run the ball. Get the ball out of his hands. So, and that would be the best option to do that would be Penny. I would cease fire, of course. Let's talk about the elephant in the room on Seattle, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I would go and cease fire on them, man. Let's just sit back and let's just see what happens. Let's see how they're used. See if it's worth it. I'd rather them blow up on week 1. I'd rather them blow up on my bench than hurt me in my starting lineup. That's just how I like to look at it. Yeah. So anyway, so there you go. Anything more you want to add on there?
Say la. We've had a
All
long
right.
show. Thank you for staying with us, guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. So make sure to click the bell. If you really enjoyed what you heard, we do these. Was it twice a week on we film on Tuesday and Friday. We try to post them immediately, but sometimes we'll see. Some things happen, but so you'll usually get new videos around that time where we'll be talking about what happened, and also on Tuesday's show we give you a small little recap. Then we also give you a Shooter Sees Fire for Thursday night, and of course Friday you get the full Monty, man. You get the whole thing. And thank you so much for staying with us. We try really hard to stay within an hour, but we had a lot to talk about, especially since
fun
on the news and everything. Yeah, we're having a little fun. Hopefully you had a lot of fun with us. I know we had fun doing. We'd like to go ahead and thank supporters, Sports Host app and High Volume Music Radio, and then make sure to check out Connor's book. Too much. It's available on Amazon. So make sure you'll be happy that you did. And also on High Volume Music Radio, check out Drive Time Sports with Charlie and Brian every Thursday from 4 to 6. Yeah, some fun stuff. So make sure to check that out. So, parting shot. What's your parting shot, Connor?
Don't be too reactive. Don't fall into the trap of watching what happens week 1 and then saying, oh, okay, this is how it's going to be all year. Everything that I thought leading up to this was wrong, and this is how it's going to be. What do I mean? Excuse me. What do I mean by that? If you have Allen Robinson, if you have Dawson Knox, if you have any of those, that isn't how fantasy football works. So you could even have Cam Akers right now, and you're thinking, I need to get rid of this guy, right? Darrell Henderson could get injured, and Cam Akers by proxy could be of value. So don't freak out. Stay fluid, stay in the moment, and just don't panic. If someone's trying to unload a guy, take advantage of them tilting, but do not tilt by any circumstances. As Brian the Champ said, you don't have to win the first game to win the championship.
Yeah, and don't make emotional decisions. Any decisions that you make with emotion is a bad decision.
No, your goal should be making the other teams make emotional decisions. That's how you win.
Yeah. And there was a key that was passed on. I mean, this is not mine. Okay, I'll reference. It's another podcast that I listen to. But the information needs to be passed on. So in case you don't listen to that podcast, I want to pass this information on to you. This is what you look for in week 1. 13 touches by running back. Okay, either by carrying the ball or by passing. Okay, then you look for 5 targets, at least 5 targets for a wide receiver. And then you also look for at least 23 route runs by a tight end. These are the metrics that you're looking for to see if it's somebody you should panic on. Okay, and the reason why I'm saying that is like what Connor said. Dawson Knox, he ran 27 routes. Okay, he'll be fine. Okay, you look at Henderson. Is he the guy? He had 17 touches. He's the guy.
He's
okay,
the guy.
The only outlier are veteran wide receivers because of Mike Evans. Mike Evans has had game 1 or week 1s where he wasn't really looked at. Then by the end of the season, he finished like wide receiver 5. So veteran wide receivers are the only ones that that you would kind of pump the brakes. You'd be a little bit, not as nervous on. And Allen Robinson's the one that we're looking at. Let's see what he does next week. And then if
all you fools hating on my shorts.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
At least they're watching. But
thanks for. I hope you're watching. I think.
But as far as September 9th. They're right for talking.
They're right.
That.
Yeah, they're right.
But we'll see. We'll see where we are. We'll see where we are next week. And Lord willing, you'll be with us too. So on behalf of Connor the Gut Marshall, I almost said Connor Gut the Marshall. That's what I said. Yeah, Connor the Gut Marshall.
Connor the Marshall.
Yes, and me, your humble host, Brian, the Amigo Baldwin. We want to thank you for watching, and I hope that this year is an even better year than the last. Make sure, again, subscribe, bell. And Connor, help me out with this last line. In fantasy football, as in life.
Don't dream it, be it.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Good luck on your games, guys and gals. Good luck. Thanks for